You've heard it a million times, right? It's one of those sayings we all grow up with. It's catchy, it's simple, and it paints this picture of an animal with an almost supernatural memory.
So let's just get right into it. We all know the phrase, but what's really behind it? Is this just a cute piece of folklore we tell our kids? Or is there some serious, hard science to back it up? Well, that's what we're going to do. Today, we're basically putting this old proverb on trial. We're going to dig into the evidence, unpack the science, and figure out what it actually means for an animal to remember on this scale. And spoiler alert, it goes way, way deeper than just not forgetting. It's about how they live, how they survive, and the very wiring of their brains.
All right, Exhibit A in our case, their social network. And let me tell you, elephant societies are so incredibly complex that to even function in one, you need a memory that is just off the charts.
Okay, get this. This is just mind-blowing. I want you to imagine not seeing your mom for, say, 12 years. Researchers actually witnessed mother-daughter elephant pairs reuniting after being separated for that long. And it wasn't just a nod, a hesitant hello. No, it was an explosion of emotion, these intense, wild greeting ceremonies. That's immediate, powerful recognition after more than a decade. So why does that even happen? Well, it's because of how they live. It's something scientists call a fission-fusion society. All that means is the group is constantly changing. It splits up, comes back together. You might go years without seeing a cousin or a close friend. So if you don't have a rock-solid long-term memory, the whole thing just falls apart. It is literally the cognitive glue holding their entire world together. And if you think that's wild, it gets even crazier. A groundbreaking study from just 2024 found that they might actually call each other by name. And here's the part that'll really blow your mind. They're not just mimicking sounds, which is what dolphins do. No. They seem to be inventing unique, arbitrary labels, names, for each other. That's a trait we used to think was exclusively human. Okay, so we've established they remember who everyone is, but how are they filing away all of this social data? Well, a massive piece of the puzzle comes down to one of their senses, which is, for all intents and purposes, a superpower. To even start to understand their memory, you have to appreciate the sheer hardware they're working with. An elephant's brain is packing 257 billion neurons. Just let that sink in. Our brains have around 86 billion, so they have 3 times as many. It's not a fair comparison. It's like a supercomputer versus, a pocket calculator. The processing power is just immense. But all that power is wired completely differently. For us humans, everything is about sight, right? We see a face, we recognize a person. For an elephant, their whole world, their reality is built on smell. Their memories are literally constructed from scent. And the amount of information they can pull from a single sniff is just staggering. Seriously, they can tell family from strangers just by the smell of, their poop. They can remember the specific scent of a human keeper they haven't seen in over a decade. They can keep track of at least 30 other elephants in their group by smell alone and even know who's ready to mate. It's not just memory. It's a massive, searchable library of smells in their head. So we've seen the behavior, we've seen the superpower sense, but what's actually happening inside that giant head? Let's pop the hood and look at the engine, the neuroanatomy that drives this whole incredible system. Right here. This is the command center. The physical hardware for that legendary memory, it all comes down to one very special, highly developed part of the brain. And that special part is called the hippocampus. Now, you have one too. You can kind of think of it as the save button for your memories. Well, in an elephant, that save button is, let's just say it's on a whole other level. It is huge and incredibly complex. Way more than you'd expect, even for such a big brain. And this is where it gets really cool. So in us, the hippocampus is all about remembering events and places. What you ate for breakfast, how to get to the store. But in elephants, it's like it has a specialization. It's been custom built and supercharged for the 2 things they need most: keeping track of that crazy social network and processing that universe of smells. It's a perfect example of evolution shaping the brain for exactly what an animal needs to survive. All right, so we've seen the social evidence, we've seen the sensory evidence, we've seen the brain scans, so to speak. It's time to bring it all back to that original saying we started with. Let's get to the verdict. Does an elephant never forget? Oh yeah, absolutely. But honestly, just saying that is a massive oversimplification. It kind of misses the entire point. This isn't some cute party trick. Their memory is everything. It's the absolute foundation of their society, their key to survival, and the bedrock of their profound intelligence.
And understanding this isn't just academic. This stuff matters in the real world, right now. For conservation, when an old matriarch dies, you're not just losing one elephant. You are losing a living library of knowledge the entire group relies on to survive. For human-elephant conflict, their memory means they can identify specific threats and learn how to get around our fences. It's a cognitive arms race. And fascinatingly, they might even help us. They live these long lives without the mental decline we see in humans, which could hold vital clues for fighting diseases like Alzheimer's. So all of this really leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? When you know that an animal has names for its friends, remembers family for decades, and feels grief, how does that change things? What does that do to our responsibility to protect them? Because suddenly you realize you're not just trying to save a species, you're trying to save an entire complex society.